It is Sunday night as I'm recording this, and you know what that means. It's time to talk AEW, and this is week 5 of becoming an AEW fan. On today's video, we're going to talk AEW Dynasty, make some predictions, but also just make sure that I fully understand the feuds that are taking place on this show. The matches that are happening and how we got here. I want to fully make sure that I understand the stories because wrestling is about storytelling. Uh, Admittingly so, I'm a little bit overwhelmed sometimes when watching AEW, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. However, there are at least one or two matches here where I'm like a little bit lost, and I would appreciate your help in the comments. Before we get into it, though, make sure to hit that button, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. This channel is all wrestling content all the time, AEW and WWE. So you're already here because you like wrestling. You're here because you're an AEW fan. So you really like wrestling. You should hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications. Come hang out with us. Let's talk AEW. All right, so going in the order, in reverse order of how they're listed on the AEW site. Like I said, we're going to go through all of the matches for AEW Dynasty, at least all of the matches that were made so far. From what the little bit that I know, I feel like AEW loves to add some matches last minute. I feel like for Revolution, they added a couple matches like on the Collision before or the Dynamite before. So we might get more matches. But as of right now, this is what the card looks like. I would like your help because I think I know what's going on. But if there's anything that I'm missing, I would like you to help me in the comments so that I fully understand the background of some of these matches so that I go into AEW Dynasty knowing everything that I need to know. First off, again, reverse order in how they were listed on the website is Andrade versus Darby Allin. This match was just made official on AEW Dynamite this week. MJF gave the Don Callis family the briefcase full of money. Apparently, this is something MJF does often. Apparently, this is something he's done before. Cool. I like it. I like the heelish ways of like, hey, other bad guy faction, protect me from this person or this group or whatever it may be. I like it. Fun, great. There is some what's the word I'm looking for? There's some hesitation from Andrade to be a part of this whole thing. I know that when Don Callis told Andrade about this, Andrade's like, "Why are we working for MJF now?" He didn't even know that he was the person that would be going up against Darby Allin on Wednesday. He didn't know that he was the person that was going to be going up against Darby Allin. When Don Callis came out and he's like, "I have the perfect person to have a match with you at AEW Dynasty, and it's going to be on that." Andrade was surprised. I do feel we've seen that week after week since that whole angle was introduced of the Don Callis family being bought off by MJF. We saw it after Revolution on that Dynamite after Revolution. So my assumptions here is that we're going to see maybe not necessarily a face turn from Andrade, right? But maybe the beginnings of a like, I don't really want to be doing this with you guys type of thing from him. From what I've seen from Andrade so far, by the way, only ever having seen him in the WWE, AEW knows how to book this guy. AEW knows what to do with this guy. I'm really enjoying his character in AEW. The guy's killing it. The guy's killing it, and he's a lot of fun to watch. I think Darby Allin is going to win this match. I don't think that you introduce this whole thing with Darby Allin and MJF if there isn't going to be a payoff at some point. I do feel like we're heading down the road to seeing Darby Allin go off or go up against MJF. Let me know in the comments. Has Darby Allin ever gone after the AEW World Championship? Excuse my ignorance. I don't know a whole lot of what's going on here, and I've done very little research about this. So please let me know in the comments. But yeah, the dude's awesome. I love watching Darby Allin on screen, even if he's not wrestling, just with a mic in his hand. The dude's a lot of fun. So my pick for this match is Darby Allin. We saw him call out MJF on Wednesday as well. MJF did not come out, but this was right before MJ's match with Jet Speed. Jet Speed? Is that his name? Mike Bailey. Mike Bailey? Am I right? I don't know. But we did see that. So, yeah, I think Darby Allin will win this match, and I think that we will eventually be getting an MJF versus Darby Allin match, whether it's for the AEW Championship or not. I forgot to mention a few things here. Darby Allin had a backstage segment with Brody King and Jungle Jack Perry. I don't know the story behind between all of these guys, but it does sound like they have some history here. Let me know in the comments what I should check out so I can get the full story from this. But yeah, apparently Brody King and Darby Allin have had some great matches in the past where, yeah, they basically almost killed each other. And apparently these were some classics that I should go back and watch. And then I like that Jack Perry was just like, you set me on fire. He said it a couple times and no one cared. Apparently Darby Allin set Jack Perry on fire. Fun. Let me know when that happened. So yeah, they definitely have his back though. I guess against the John Callis family, I feel like they will be at least ringside to kind of stop any interference from the John Callis family during this match. So I think, yeah, like the cards are just kind of stacked for Darby Allin winning this match. And I do think we're going to get some sort of character change, or maybe just like we'll start seeing the cracks in this Andrade heel character. And we'll start seeing some changes, and maybe he'll turn against the Don Callis family, if not now, eventually. We also did see on Dynamite before that main event when Darby Allin did come out to call out MJF, that who came out was Kenny Omega, and he exchanged words with Darby Allin. And when he was on commentary, he did essentially say like that he would offer Darby Allin a title shot if he beats MJF at Dynasty. So we do protect the storyline there, where like Darby Allin is kind of headed to being the number one contender regardless of who wins on Sunday's Dynasty. So I think I have all of the details from that story, but let me know. Yeah, my pick to win though, Darby Allin for sure. Jon Moxley versus Will Ospreay. They did make this a Continental Championship match. 20-minute time limit. No one's allowed to be ringside except for the two competitors. So Will Ospreay did push for that because he didn't want the Death Riders to get involved in any sort of way. Another story here is that Jon Moxley broke Will Ospreay's neck. Right? He broke Will Ospreay's neck, and Will Ospreay was out for a while. I guess he wasn't expected to return so soon, but he's back and he's out for revenge. That's the story here. There might be more to it than that, but it feels like that's a pretty good reason. That's a pretty good reason for Will Ospreay to want a match here. Will Ospreay did go up against he went up against Pac on Dynamite this week. He won the match via roll up, but he was kind of getting the Pac was getting, is it Pac or Pac? I don't know. He was getting the best of him in the ring. He was controlling the match, and then after the match, of course, Will Ospreay got jumped by the rest of the Death Riders, and Mox basically was like, for you this is personal, for me it's not. So yeah, this is obviously very personal for Will Ospreay. Again, broke his neck, right? I do think, however, that Jon Moxley will win this match. I feel like Jon Moxley has just been like, the Continental Championship has just been like his thing, and every match I've seen him go up against anyone that he just destroys. There was that I guess that draw, that time limit draw that happened, and maybe that's what's going to come out of this. That way they both get protected, and we'll probably get a longer story out of these two guys that probably goes all the way into All In. So yeah, actually, I'm changing my prediction. I think this is going to be a time limit draw, and the two dudes are just going to keep fighting past the bell. And this isn't about winning or losing for Will Ospreay. This is about revenge and giving Jon Moxley what he deserves in his eyes. So yeah, time limit draw for me. Let me know if there's anything I'm missing in that story, because I don't know a whole lot there. Again, Will Ospreay just came back at Revolution. What was that? 3 weeks ago. And as far as I know, it was just the neck thing. I mean, it's not like it's just the neck thing, right? Like he broke his neck. But let me know if there's more to it. Okay. Tekla versus Jamie Hayter for the AEW Women's Championship. This is where I'm going to need your help. And I don't know if it's on me. I don't know if it's AEW. I don't feel like they've focused a whole lot on this match. Again, at least not for me. This is like the first match. This is actually the only match in the card where I'm not super familiar with the two people on the card. And look, WWE guy, it's the only match without a WWE guy, right? So it's been a little hard for me to follow. Honestly, in general, the women's division in AEW is a little hard for me to follow because they're all new characters and I don't really know anyone and I don't really know the names yet. So when I see feuds happening, I'm just like, okay, who's this again? Okay, she's the champion, and who's that? Oh, but then she's also part of a trios thing. Like I know that Tekla had a trios match this week. I don't remember what the name of her trios team was, but I know that they hadn't lost and that they finally lost this week. I'm honestly not sure if Jamie Hayter was part of the other team. Probably, right? But it is a little hard for me to follow some of these feuds when I don't know either wrestler already, when I don't have a pre a preconceived understanding of the characters. If I don't even know their names, right? Like it's just hard to be like, okay, who's who again. So I would like some context here. I would like some background for this match. But I know who Tekla is. I don't know Jamie Hayter. Sorry. Listen, sorry. Please don't be upset. Or be upset. I don't care. But it's been a little hard. I've seen Tekla defend her title a couple times, so the best I can do is say that I think Tekla will retain her title again. FTR versus Cage and Cope. This feud has been a lot of fun. I love the Christian Cage character. I think I said it during Revolution when I was like, wait, I thought that Christian Cage was a heel, but he's coming back and I guess he's a face now. Like, what's the deal? And then everybody was like, oh, if you think Christian Cage is a heel, just wait. He is still the same asshole, but now he's Cope's asshole. And yeah, that's exactly what I've been noticing since they've gotten back. I love their segment this week when they're looking for FTR and they're like, we're gonna take out anyone in our way. And then Renee Paquette, is that her name? Paquette. She stops them to be like, hey, like you guys are here, like what are you doing? And then that's when Cope is like, oh, we're looking for FTR, we're about to take out anyone in our way. And then Christian Cage grabs the chair and like cocks it back. And Cope is like, whoa, 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 she's not in our way. And then Christian Cage just like walks away, really pissed off. That's a lot of fun. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun seeing these guys. Even like when I saw him bite the dude from FTR, I don't know their individual names. When he bit one of the dudes from FTR. Also, who's that guy? Who's that guy that comes out with FTR? I would like some background there because he was in a wheelchair. He's not anymore. Apparently, he's their guy. I would like to know who their manager is that comes out with him. There's obviously a story there. I've heard them defend him a lot in the past. So, yeah, the story here, as far as I know, is that Cage and Cope are after FTR because FTR took out Beth, who is I don't know if that's her real name. Beth Phoenix is how I know her. Who is Christian Cage's wife, or I'm sorry, Adam Copeland's wife. Obviously, she's Adam Copeland's wife. So FTR did a concerto on her and took her out. And then I think that they also took out both uh, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage at some point and injured them. And they've been out for a while. So they return at Revolution. They're after the tag team titles. They had that moment with the Young Bucks after the Young Bucks lost, where basically the Young Bucks were like, we got to go find our smile. And Christian Cage and Cope were like, well, we're going after FTR, and those titles will be ours. I do think that Christian Cage and Adam Copeland will come out of this the AEW Tag Team Champions. And then I think that they're probably going to have a feud with the Young Bucks, probably a face versus face feud. Again, I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I'm learning a lot here, but that's just the impression that I got seeing the interactions that all of these guys have had against each other. But yeah, FTR versus Cage and Cope. I think Cage and Cope come out the victors here. All right, MJF versus Kenny Omega, the main event. This story, I don't even think. I guess I'll talk about it in the outro, Chris Jericho. But MJF versus Kenny Omega is our main event for that evening. The Devil versus the Wrestling God is how they're poising it. MJF is one of the best things in wrestling, man. Like I say this every week, but every week I just watch AEW and I have so much fun when that dude's on the screen. Um, oh man, like that, like yeah, they just aren't wrestlers like MJF. Like that dude is one of one, and it's fun. It's really fun to watch him. Uh, I saw, by the way, what was it? Was it an interview with Road Dogg or somebody where they asked them if WWE had ever considered going after MJF, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, we tried. He didn't want to." So yeah, obviously he's being treated well at AEW. So good for them and good for him. That dude is, again, he's one of one. There's no other wrestler like him right now. Yeah, if you don't watch AEW, like I didn't for a very long time, and you've only seen things here and there about MJF, watch a Dynamite show, watch him cut a promo on TV. The dude is flawless. The dude is absolutely flawless. But this feud, I feel like it was a really weird way of getting here, but essentially what happened was that Kenny Omega was feuding with Swerve Strickland. Swerve had beaten Brody King, which inadvertently, or what do you say, like he wasn't even aware of this. That made him the number one contender. So then Kenny Omega challenged Swerve Strickland for the number one contendership. Swerve wanted the Kenny Omega's EVP power if he won. So it was EVP power versus number one contendership. Kenny Omega beat Swerve and became the number one contender. Kenny Omega and MJF have been cutting promos on each other week after week. This week they had a contract signing and neither of them were allowed to touch each other. MJF kept poking and poking at Kenny Omega. I apologize, but I forget what exactly. Kenny Omega has some sort of illness that took him away from the ring, that much I know, for a while. And MJF was like, I know, I've spoken to your doctor, and I know that you still suffer from this. And you're not at 100% yet. And I'm going to take full advantage of it. And then Kenny Omega said something to MJF about, like, I've also spoken to your doctor, and I forget what he said, but it's really funny because they made fun of, like, HIPAA laws. They're like, I guess HIPAA laws be damned. Yeah, the feud's been fun. We're definitely going to get an amazing wrestling match out of these two. I don't think that the feud has been super great, that the build has been super great. I don't know if these guys have a lot of history before this, but yeah, it feels like the build has just been like Kenny Omega wanted to go after the championship, which I guess that's all you need. That's all you need in a main event. That's all you need when you are the AEW champion, because it is the biggest prize in a company, right? So it should need no more than just, I want to be champion and you are the champion. So yeah, I guess in that sense, like, it makes perfect sense. But I do think that the whole Darby Allin thing is building towards something bigger. So I do think that MJF is going to win this match. And yeah, I think we're going to set up MJF against Darby Allin probably at All In. We'll get there eventually. Again, it's going to be a great match. It's going to be an absolutely great match. And I can't wait to see MJF in the ring again, because that dude is probably the best wrestler around today. I'll just straight up say it. All right, there you have it. Those are my thoughts on AEW Dynasty. Again, I don't know if I completely understand all of this. I realized this week that AEW is a little bit overwhelming sometimes because, again, I don't know all of the characters. When I know, like, I know who MJF is. Great. I can completely understand the story. I knew, like, I've heard of him. I've seen clips of him. Great. I know who FTR and Adam Cole are. Perfect. I can follow this story because I know who they are when they're on my screen. I know Jon Moxley. I've seen enough of Will Ospreay to know who he is. Perfect. Andrade, I know. Darby Allin, I know. Perfect. I completely understand what is happening on TV when these two characters are on my TV. Also, you guys did a really good job of explaining it to me in my comments. about the whole MJF paying heel factions off to protect them. So I appreciate that because that gave me some context. But like, yeah, I know who Tekla is because she's the champion, so she's the one with the big belt, right? But other than that, right, like whenever any, honestly, even some of like the guy mid cards come out, it's really hard for me to keep track of it because I don't know these characters. I'm not super familiar with them, but I'll get there. I promise I'll get there, and I'm putting in the work to becoming a sicko like the rest of you. I think I'm at a sick. I'm at the S. I'm at a sick, but I'll be a sicko eventually. But yeah, let me know if that's just a me thing, or I do feel like AEW doesn't pay as much. And honest, look, this isn't just an AEW problem, right? WWE has the same problem in that they just don't pay the same amount of attention to the women's division as they do with the men's. Um, I do like Willow Nightingale. She's a lot of fun to watch. I don't know what it is about her. I don't know what draws me to her character. She's a lot of fun to watch. So her, I know. I know a couple people here and there, but anyway, I've rambled at this point. Chris Jericho came back this week. Let me know what you think. A lot of people are happy. A lot of people are not. I personally wouldn't have cared if he came back. I personally wouldn't have cared if he gone to WWE. I've never been. I guess I kind of like was a Chris Jericho guy in the beginning, but once you learn about people and who they are outside of the ring, I'm just not a Chris Jericho guy. So I don't care that he's back. You tell me what you think. Is this a good thing for AEW? Is this a bad thing for AEW? I don't know. Anyway, though, since you made it this far, make sure to drop a like, make sure to hit subscribe, make sure to do all the things that you do. Let me know in the comments what I've gotten wrong. I'm sure I've gotten some of this wrong because, again, I'm learning. Be kind to me. I am learning, but I'm trying to put in the work. Since you've made it this far, drop a like, hit subscribe, drop a comment. I said that already. Click on whatever video will be here. I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be something that you might like. And as always, until next time, have a nice day. That's my cat, by the way.